feel like I'm telling a story that the listener thinks I'm dragging on too long. How can you gauge that they're still immersed?
Yes. Kathleen, good question. How do you gauge? If you're actually paying attention to the audience, you would know. Only if you are just self-observed, then you're like, I'm just telling my thing. I don't, because sometimes you know how you can see, you can sense. I'll give you a few examples. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you're presenting, you can see you're going over time. Mm-hmm. Okay, the audience is getting like a little restless, uncomfortable, right? Yep. But a lot of speakers, they don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. I have 30 slides to go. I'm gonna finish this. I've also seen speakers where you could see, you've experienced this. Most speakers who are not very skilled, they know the audience is losing interest, mm-hmm. but they're too afraid to address. Mm-hmm. They're too afraid to kind of not confront and deal with it. They're just afraid, right? Versus, I don't need to address it. I want to deal with it. I want to be asking questions, keep them engaged, so they can't. I might call their name, mm-hmm. right? So mm-hmm. if I see someone, let's say Desmond there is not paying attention. Yeah. It's like I would be talking. Hey, Desmond, wouldn't you agree? Right. Yes, right. And then from there, like I would do stuff like that.
And that's where meeting some people at the start, you know, a couple of people that you can call on.
See the name tag, yeah, wouldn't you agree, right?
Yes.
Or if you don't know the name, hey, the gentleman in blue, wouldn't you agree with that? Mm-hmm. Right? You seem like you have a question. Anyone who has questions like that, mm-hmm. you gotta think of it. So if you actually pay attention, you will know. Sifu has done things where this is something nobody does. We did it at CIB. Yes. Those are in Black last year. Yep. For those who were there, you know. Sifu was presenting on a topic.
Yes, I remember this.
And I had my slides. I was just beginning to talk about the topic. Now, keep in mind, it's 1,000 people, 1,000 my top students, right? One particular student walked up to me, huge. Big guy. He was in a lot of pain. He was asking for my help. Now, I have two choices. I could say, talk to me in the break. Mm-hmm. I will help you out. Let me keep going because I need to cover what I need to cover. Or what I did was I stopped, addressed the audience, addressed all my students and say, okay, I have a student here. He needs help. Is it okay? I would cover this. I would do a class on this when we finish the event in a few weeks, right? But now I need to help this person. So I threw my own agenda out the window, my own schedule out the window. Now, I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know what it looks like. I don't even know how I could help. I don't know. I just knew that I could help and he needs help.
AV team was panicking in the back of the room.
Yeah, like it's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like all the stuff that's planned. Like, no. I said, I don't care. I only care about this student in front of me. I invite him on stage and I help them. Experiences a powerful transformation. For those who were there.
Yeah. A couple are already chiming in. Darren Whitehead chimed in. Alexander Rivera chimed in.
So, so it's, most people would not do that. Most people would be, let me stick to my script. Let me stick to my thing. No, when you come from service, when you come from care, you're like, who cares what I'm going to talk about? This is what they need. And what I didn't expect was by helping this student, that actually had impact all 1,000 people.
Everybody was touched by it.
Yeah, everybody was touched. Everybody was so moved by that. I didn't expect that. Also, most speakers, they will not take risk. Have you ever thought about, I never even crossed my mind. You forget what to say. Imagine you have a person who needs help. You bring him on stage. I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Yep. I just need to know I've got about 30 minutes to create a breakthrough.
You did that twice actually at CIB.
Right.
That's right.
Right, and that was, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. This is like jumping off a plane without parachute. That's when you fail, you talk about not embarrassment, you fail in front of 1,000 of your best students. I couldn't do it if I was focusing on myself. I could only do it when this is like is out. The self-ego, all that's out. That's what makes you a great speaker. At the end of the day, not your technique, not your delivery, none of that stuff. Because those stuff comes with time.
Those are just tactics, right?
Tactics, you go to Toastmasters, you immerse yourself 6 months, a year, you'll get decent. But what separates the great from like good speakers is that the heart.
They give a shit.
It's but very few. Very few. I've seen handful in my entire life. Like I can count them probably with 2 hands. 2 hands. Last secret is the most important secret, secret number 10, and that is over practice. Desmond talks about it. Over practice. 1 minute on stage, 60 minutes off stage. Practicing, scripting, rehearsing. You get nervous because you know deep down you didn't practice enough. You know it. Yeah. You get nervous because I'm kind of winging it, right? I'm kind of like,
Do you
right?
mind if I tell a story?
Yeah, please.
Because I want you to imagine this. Imagine you're now working for Dan. Okay, you're working for Seafood. You're his executive director. You're his right-hand guy. You have to get events set up every month. About 100 people show up, 100 to 200 people show up every month. You've got that already on your plate. You're used to getting up on stage and having the mic for about a good 10 minutes to open and MC and get things started. Can you imagine that? Okay, great. Now I want you to imagine this. Sifu scripts everything out because he's sick and tired of you winging it every single month. And now he gives you a very clear script, 3 pages long, A4 paper. Can you imagine that? Okay, 3 pages long, and he says, memorize that and do not deviate from the script. That was me in 2015, 16.
Yeah, 15, buddy.
That's right. Yeah. And it took me 8 months of screwing up to get it right.
And not only you memorize it, you deliver it like this is your first time. Meaning you memorize it, it's like so well, it doesn't feel like you memorize it at all.
Yes. So I used to practice and practice. I would record myself. I would record videos of myself. I would record audios of myself. And you can ask my kids about this. They would hear, I put the audio in the car while driving, listening to myself speak. I would put it on headphones and fall asleep listening to myself speak just for that 10-minute speech every single day.
Yeah. And you wonder why, if you look at what Sifu does, oh, Sifu, you're so good. I remember years ago, I was studying under Sifu Tet Wong, who is Bruce Lee's original student, his top student. Been with Bruce for so many years, Mr. Sifu Tet Wong. And I asked Sifu Tet, I said, Sifu Tet, does anyone ask you ever this question, like, how does someone become Bruce Lee? Right? How do you become Bruce Lee? How does someone become Bruce Lee? And Sifu Tet Wong said something I'll never forget. He said, you put in Bruce Lee hours. You put in Bruce Lee hours. Something so simple and so profound. Everybody wants to be Bruce Lee. No one wants to put in Bruce Lee hours. He said, do you know how many hours Bruce trained? Gets up in the morning, he's training. He's training. He's not eating, then he's taking his training, right? Or he's studying martial arts, philosophy. That's his whole life. He's obsessed with his art. That's why he's Bruce Lee. But no one wants to put in Bruce Lee hours. Same thing, right? You want to be Dan Lok? I said, you want to be Dan Lok? Are you putting in Dan Lok hours? I haven't seen so far myself people who are willing to put in that work. Like to be that good on stage, to be able to present. You watch that. It's like any singer, any performer. I want to sing like that. Are you putting in that kind of hours? I want to dance like that. Are you putting? It's just like are you putting that kind of hours for learning how to dance? It's no different when it comes to speaking. It's no different when it comes to cooperating. It's no different when you're closing on the phone. Entrepreneurship is the same thing. It's a learnable skill, but no one wants to put in the time to learn. So you want to over prepare. When you over prepare, meaning that you can deliver your speech. Like you can do this in your sleep, you're sick and tired of it, and you practice some more. So then when you're delivering it, you don't need to worry about what you're gonna say because you know exactly what you're gonna say. Now you can focus on your attention on delivery on your tonality, on your body language. You cannot do that if you're still worrying about the two basic level of what to say. You can only worry about everything else when you don't need to worry about what to say. Then you can work on everything else, all the other aspects that makes you a great speaker. Yeah. So you can practice looking into a mirror. When you are practicing, there's a mirror, look at yourself, how you present, right? Record yourself on camera. That's a wonderful thing to do. Like I used to have a little camera, right? And I would put in front of like little tripod thing and I would practice. And I was like, oh, I don't like the way it sounds. Oh, I don't like this. I would look, you watch. You just watch, right? Again, no one does it.
I have a funny story. So I'm going to throw Brash under the bus. Matt Brash is right behind the camera here right now. So we were in LA.
Yeah.
Remember, that's another MC speech you had me practice?
Yeah.
We wake up where we're sharing the hotel room together. He goes into the bathroom to get ready. I start practicing my speech. He stayed in the bathroom for the entire speech because he thought I was talking to someone for real. He thought I was doing a webinar or something like that. And Matt came out. He's like, when I finished the speech, then he came out. I was like, dude, how come you took so long in the bathroom? He's like, oh, I thought you were like actually speaking to someone. I said, no, that was the rehearsal. I was just practicing the speech. So
yeah, it's practicing. Okay, that's nothing fancy. If you only practice speech once, you're not going to be that good. But you practice it 5th time, 10th time, 20th time, I promise you, the 10th time, way better than the first time, right? And then that's where the confidence comes in, right? That's, hey, you know what? I know my talk. I know this, right? You'll find each time you say your speech, you'll change something, right? Sometimes you're, I don't like this part, or I don't like the opening, I don't like the question. You might add stuff, you might remove stuff, but you won't know until you practice a lot, right? You practice a lot. And if you deliver that speech in front of people, then you will know their reaction, right? And then you can arrange it all. I'll give you a perfect example. When Sifu used to do closing from platform, selling, okay? I had a 90-minute, and that presentation done millions and millions of dollars, right? A 90-minute talk. Not only is scripted, I mean, every word, every sentence, every pause is scripted. I was practicing so much. You could literally, like I was so precise, you could turn on the timer. It's a 90-minute talk. I finish precisely. I'm talking like few seconds difference.
wow.
It was how precise that is, okay? If you would listen to that talk, because I was traveling one city, you go to another city, you listen to the same talk, you will think it's like a CD. It's exactly the same. Everything is because when it comes to platform closing, you want to know the difference between closing the phone, simultaneous, like it's all spontaneous, depends on what the prospects gives you. You would leverage it, you would use it, you would ask questions. It's spontaneous. Closing from the platform, systematic. Everything is scripted out. But you deliver it like this is your first time. And that's how you get consistent results. You would close 20% of the room. Here, this city, that city. If every single time your performance is like this, yo-yo, or sometimes it's like, not so good, or sometimes I deviate, how can you get consistent results? You cannot. It needs to be that precise. Now, the difference is, so Des had 3-pager.
Yes.
Well, how, 10 minute? 15?
10 minute, yeah, 10 minutes.
The difference is, this is 90 minute. This is precisely 90 minute. You get so good to a point, I have the slides. Give me slide 24. I would do that chunk. Give me slide 12. I would do that chunk. Down to like the fucking period. That's why I sold millions of dollars. Again, no one would do it.
No.
No one would do it, right? So you're going in, you're presenting, you are getting ready, all these, but you got to practice.
So Sifu, for the doers, if they just did a fraction of the thing.
Forget copying Sifu, just do a fraction. If Sifu is here, okay, most people, the fucking lazy is here, you just need to do this much. You're already way better than everybody else. Because everybody else don't do shit. They need to present. They don't understand the ritual. They don't have power move. They don't understand storytelling. They don't understand structure. They don't dress well. Yeah. They wing it. They don't fucking practice. They hide behind the podium. You just do everything I was talking about today. Do half of it. Get out of that black box. You're already here. You're way, way, way superior as a speaker than everybody else. If you're trying to get to this level, just this. Right? It doesn't take that much to go from terrible to average. Most people are terrible. It doesn't take that much. Listen to me. It doesn't take that much to go from terrible to average. It takes a lot more work to go from average to good. Okay? Takes a huge amount of work to go from good to great, and then great to world class. That like, oh man, 5%, 10% difference. Like it's just like in swimming, the one who's like half a second faster.
Shave off some hair or something.
Like I'm talking about like world champion, like half a second faster than everybody else. That half a second, that's fucking years of hard work. Maybe some talents as well. Most people will not get there. There's only one of those usually in the world. But you don't need to be that good to get good results. Because you're not competing with that. You're competing with most people, right? Yeah, just get to good or even decent. You'll win. Doesn't matter what you do, what industry, whatever you're selling, whatever you're communicating. It doesn't matter. Does that make sense?